Welcome to O'Donovan Rossa in Skibbereen. It is the Bond Secure Cork Senior Football Championship clash of Castlehaven and Newcestown. A local derby, a West Cork derby, and a big game. Castlehaven opened up with a victory against Carbery, and of course Newcestown had a very significant win against their neighbours Island Rovers, and they put up a big score in that game. John Hayes, what are you expecting from this match?
Expecting a major battle. It's a very, very important game in our group. Obviously, the vested interest in this game as a Carbery Rangers man. It's kind of knowing that the result of this game will have a big impact on what happens in our group. If Castlehaven win, it's very straightforward for us in the last game. It'll be a straight shootout with Newcestown. If Newcestown win, it changes things, make it look more complicated. But in this game, I don't think there'll be much between the two teams. The rivalry going back between the two teams a long way, and the winners of this game will be strong favourites to go through.
Before we talk more about this game, what about Carbery Rangers last night? Good win, significant win, and needed win.
Yeah, it was a massively important win. It was a tough game in tough conditions. Wasn't the prettiest spectacle, but the only thing that mattered for us yesterday was getting the result. We got the result yesterday. It keeps us in the championship. It removes the prospect of relegation, and it keeps us in the championship. So it was just very important to get the result.
These are two teams who are looking to maybe improve on their lot from last year. Newcestown reached the semi-final. That was impressive, but as always, when you achieve something, you want to go one better maybe the next year. For Castlehaven, it was a really disappointing season last year. But as we say, they opened up well. It makes a difference that their county guys are training with the team, working with the team, and they're able to put in place game plans and plans.
Yeah, and look, that's true of every club in the country. It's taken a serious pandemic for some sort of balance between club and county to be found. It's been brilliant for the clubs to have access to all their players. It's been brilliant for the clubs to have certainty of fixtures. So hopefully, the championship can go ahead and be completed. That I know we're all kind of living in total uncertainty, and we're not entirely sure what's going to happen with what will happen with COVID-19, but hopefully these championships can be completed. For these two teams, we've got Castlehaven. We played them here last year in a knockout game and got the result after extra time, so that they'll be looking to kind of reach the latter stages of the championships, which they traditionally have done recently. Newcestown, as you said, in the semi-final last year, have a young team, a very fit team, and they're a dual club, so it's their fourth week in a row out. So it'll be interesting to see, will those games be a benefit and stand to them? They'll be fit, but have they picked up any injuries that will impact them as well?
4 games in 22 days, that is tough, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very tough. It's very tough as well because the 3-month hiatus that all the clubs had, okay, yes, people could train on their own and do some running, and you've got back a little bit of time, so it's not too bad, but it still went from no training to a very, very heavy workload in a short space of time. So look, I think Newcestown, in their benefit, they're young, they look like a fit team. They're still knocking around as well. I haven't seen as much of Newcestown as I have of Castlehaven in recent years. What they bring to the
because they're both on one win, and the way the groups work, it's not just a case of win today and that's you through. You'd want to win all 3 because there's a possible direct route to the semi-final. And for Newcestown especially, that would be appealing because it would mean one less game, which could count for something.
Oh, 100%, yeah. And like I was kind of alluding to earlier, the status in this group, it probably becomes much more a clear picture if Castlehaven win today. If Newcestown win, then you have the prospect of us in Carbery Rangers going out and playing Newcestown. We'll be looking to get a result there, and if Castlehaven got a result against Island Rovers, we'd have 3 teams on 4 points.
Well, the weather is keeping its end of the bargain for now. It was raining this morning. Obviously there has been flooding issues around West Cork in the last couple of days. The pitch in very good condition despite the fact that there has been rain, and as you can see, it's not sunny, it's overcast, but it is kind of muggy and warm. What's it like to play high intensity football in conditions like this?
Yeah, no, you're right. It is very warm. The air is heavy, so it's kind of it's tough conditions, but the pitch is in very good nick. I suppose we had kind of similar conditions yesterday where it was warm and heavy, and the pitch was quite heavy too. But so it was energy sapping. What you have here over in Skib, they've done in this pitch in the last couple of years, and it's a superb surface now. So that should help the two teams. As you said, Castlehaven will be a little bit fresher. Newcestown have the 4th week in a row, as you were saying earlier, in the legs. So it will be interesting to see in the latter stages who finishes stronger.
We've seen with Newcestown they're capable of getting goals. Is that something Castlehaven will want to improve on today? Got a good win against Carbery Rangers, and I hate to keep bringing it up, but they didn't get goals in that game.
No, Castlehaven would have goals in them. Obviously, look, I'm not sure if Brian Hurley is starting today. There was rumours that he wasn't fit to start, but Brian and Michael definitely have goals in them inside for Castlehaven. So they will, they will target goals if they're given the opportunity. Newcestown, look, they're traditionally probably a running team, a physical team, and they've got Cullum and Brian O'Driscoll are involved with them this year. 2 Cork players, Cora lads, and they've been involved with Newcestown over the last little while, and they'll have them in very, very good physical conditions. So, look, goals on a wet day are worth a lot to any team. So it will be it could be a factor.
Slippery conditions, wet conditions, handling will be key in this game, and being able to actually cut down the mistakes, because that's the thing, in wet conditions, mistakes can kill you.
Yeah, and I suppose with Newcestown they might put the premium on the running game, so it'll be ball handling and working it through the hands, whereas Castlehaven have traditionally looked for a longer kicking game. Damien Callahan won't be afraid to drive it 50 or 60 yards. Mark Collins will be looking for those longer passes into the full forward line, into Brian Hurley and Michael. And also you've got Colin Maguire, who's a threat in the half forward line, and Jack and Conor Callahan, when they get involved, will be a threat. So Castlehaven's strength lies primarily in their forwards, so they'll be looking to get early ball in. Will Newcestown pull players back and defend in numbers and try and hit Castlehaven on the break? So it'll be interesting to see how it pans out.
Should be an interesting game. We're almost ready to rock. For a big game you need a big referee, and they don't come much bigger than an All-Ireland final referee, Conor Lane, who's in charge today.
Yeah, Conor is one of the most experienced refs in Cork and Ireland. Usually if there's a big game and they want strong control of it, Conor comes down. So look, he could be a busy man today, but slippery conditions as well. Hopefully he'll make some allowances for that, because it can cause fellas to slip and make contact where they might not mean to.
And sometimes they might mean to, and that's where you have to come in as a referee. Well, it's an unusual kind of summer, an unusual kind of year, and that year looks like continuing in an unusual manner, but we are delighted to have sport to watch, and we're delighted to be able to bring you this live stream on the Irish Examiner Facebook page and social media channels of Newcestown against Castlehaven. It's a big game, and hopefully it will be a good game. And we talk about it being an odd kind of season. Today was supposed to be the day of the All-Ireland Senior Hurling Final, but isn't it good we've got something like this to watch instead?
Yeah, well, look, I kind of alluded to it earlier. It's great that the clubs are getting a priority for this season, albeit in very strange circumstances. It has been brilliant for clubs to have all their players and be active and playing championship games all through the summer. I think it's a drum that's been beaten over the last few years by a lot of people, and I think in the longer term, even post-COVID, I hope the GAA kind of look at this and realise there's a template here for all players to get valuable game time and game time that they would love to get during the summer. Even if we're not getting the summer weather that we would like, you're still out here in pretty good conditions in a good pitch in August, and I hope the GAA can see the value in this.
And it's something that the GPA seem to agree with them on as well. They've pitched a fairly big window for the club. Well, it's not a window, is it? It's a massive bay door.
Yeah.
They want to make a lot more room for club and not have it just squeezed in at the end of the year when the county championships finish. The players breaking off into their formations, the handshakes and the well wishes happening on the pitch as we speak. We're about to get underway in the Cork Senior Football Championship, the Bond Secure Cork Senior Football Championship between Castlehaven and Newcestown. Should be a bit of a belter. Ball in, game on, and immediately it's taken by Sean O'Donovan, living up to his nickname already, the Claw, roaming forward. Wing forward, Mark Kelly, one of the more experienced Newcestown campaigners, and Newcestown just playing a bit of keep ball. O'Donovan to Deneen, formerly a half forward, but operating in the half back line now. O'Donovan on it again. Possible steps, referee lets it go. Fionn Keane, Colm Deneen. Luke Meade, to those outside of Cork, known more as a hurler, but to those inside, a dual star. Deneen, Luke Meade, always pops up where he's needed. Heard the shout from Garrod O'Donovan, the under-20 All-Ireland winner. He tried to find a Cork Keane inside, kind of bounced off Keane and comes out, and now Castlehaven on the counter-attack, and Brian Hurley, he can really move with the ball. Mark Collins, the playmaker. Michael Hurley, being pressed out by Micheál McSweeney. Hurley assessing the options. One of them is his brother Brian. Brian goes for it, doesn't catch that one right. And that was good pressure from Newcestown, John Hayes.
Yeah, look, I think you saw the template for Castlehaven there. I mentioned it earlier. Quick ball to Mark Collins in midfield and driven straight into Michael Hurley. Now Newcestown doubled up with Fionn Keane dropping back in front to double up on Michael Hurley, and they ended up putting pressure on to force a kind of a difficult shot out of Brian Hurley. Maybe just needed a little bit more patience, but you could see what Castlehaven want to do. Early ball into Michael. Brian seems to be drifting out a little bit.
Castlehaven get the free out and they go quickly. Brian Hurley is kind of floating around that 45. Michael is on the move. Brian makes the break, Michael goes for it, and it's into the hands of the goalkeeper, who kind of fumbled it initially, but gets it out. Chris White, who's benefiting from the fact that his brother Patrick, who was the goalkeeper, emigrated.
Yeah, Patrick was the goalkeeper for a long time, when we would have been playing Newcestown down through the years, but like you said, his brother's in his place now and is a very solid keeper.
Newcestown cool under pressure here. Castlehaven happy enough to let them have the ball, but not really travel far out of their own defence. Mark Kelly, a long-time campaigner for Newcestown, tries to get around Mark Collins. Collins forces him backwards. Luke Meade. Neat little sidestep from Meade. He's being hassled and harried there. Good work from Roland Welton. And it's a free in for Newcestown.
25 is Jamie Walsh. I'm not sure, 23.
Colm Deneen. Sean O'Donovan. Popped up for the Hoover, Jack Meade. Little bit of a breeze here, it's not too strong. The Hoover lost possession, taken up by David McCarthy. Into the hands of Cathal Maguire. There's a bit of a wrestle off the ball. Cian Toomey stopping Hurley's progression, Michael Hurley's progression. That was off the ball, as I say, but Castlehaven still going. Can they create an opening? Free in. No score as of yet. This is probably the first and best chance. Well, not the first chance, because Castlehaven dropped a few into the goalkeeper, but certainly the best.
Yeah, look, I think it's pretty clear that the way both teams are going to set up. Newcestown have Fionn Keane kind of sweeping back in front of Michael Hurley primarily. Michael Hurley is the target man for Castlehaven. Brian seems to be drifting further out the field. Looking for Michael Hurley, but he's been double marked and triple marked, so you know he could find a tough afternoon.
It's from an awkward enough angle, but he makes little of it. That's a really, really good score, and Castlehaven lead by 1. Good stuff from Mark Collins, solid as always.
Yeah, look, Marky will slot those frees all day. He's very solid from the frees, so it's always a big help for any team to have a free taker who's going to convert 90% of what he gets.
We only had to wait 5 minutes for the first score. Good work by Colm Deneen. Can he win the breaking ball that he himself created? It's a free into Castlehaven, and the Newcestown lads not too pleased. Damien Cahalane. Castlehaven building again. There's loads of room over on that far side. David McCarthy looking up, carrying cautiously. Jimmy Walsh, a late change in the team. Mark Collins. Collins recycles to David McCarthy. Conor Cahalane. Off it goes to Damien Cahalane. That's a 50-50 ball, but it's a really well taken one by Roland Welton. Now it's Brian Hurley. Brian Hurley, over the bar it goes. Castlehaven by 2.
Yeah, very good score from Castlehaven. They possibly do need to commit more numbers forward because they seem to be trying to isolate Michael inside, but Newcestown have numbers back. So on that occasion, Roland Welton managed to get into position in centre forward and pop it to Brian for the score.
I had to double take what was the number 4 doing up there, but that's modern football for you. And these lads don't mind running, they don't mind moving.
Yeah, well,
ball breaks.
Roland would often have played a bit of half-back midfield, so he wouldn't be uncomfortable up there.
Remember, the winner today pretty much guaranteed their spot in the quarter-final, but as we were saying, if you get through your group with 3 wins, you'd likely go straight into a semi-final. Of course, that depends on other groups and if other teams complete a 100% record. But here comes Ty Toomey. Toomey slips at the vital moment, but was he fouled? Yes, he was, says the referee. What a turn and run there by Ty Toomey, one of the more experienced players, but showed signs of youth in those legs when he galloped on towards the goal.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you said that because Tyg is around my own vintage. I would have played under 21 with Cork with Tyg. He was always a lively ball winner. He'll get out in front, he'll turn. You saw he turned really quick there and it was straight through and goal because he has pace. Taken down. Probably a bit disappointed that they're only getting a point out of that, but it showed he was a threat inside and could have the beating of the full back.
Cian Healy, who scored 4 last time out. And it could have been far, far worse for Castlehaven. It was cynical but smart. Yeah,
look, he was through in goal, and I suppose he kind of did make at least enough of an effort to make a decent tackle that he wasn't deemed to be a black card offence. So look, in that position you'd have to do that.
Collins to Hurley, who's turning and twisting. This is Michael Hurley. Michael Hurley gets a shot away. And it's a 45. It's good defending by Newcestown. They got around him and smothered him.
Yeah, they're very clearly targeting Michael for extra attention. Michael McSweeney is a good defender who's marking on himself. Has experience of playing with Cork, and then particularly Fionn Key seems to be kind of doubling up to support him, making it difficult for him. So there's going to be other Castlehaven players who are going to have to chip in as well as trying to get everything into Michael.
Here's Jimmy Welsh, not named in the starting 15, but he has started in that number 25 jersey. Doesn't catch it right at all. McSweeney driving out. Down the line it goes to David Buckley. McSweeney popping up again. Runs into the Castlehaven defender Jimmy Walsh, and it's another free. It's been a hard running game so far. It's everything we expected, John.
Yeah, no, it is kind of panning out how I thought. Newcestown having numbers back and trying to play the running game. Castlehaven looking to be more direct and hit it into Michael and Brian as quickly as they can. Castlehaven will be happier with the start. Newcestown were playing Tyg, Toomey and Cara Keane. They're experienced guys inside in the full forward line to begin with, and they're younger, fitter players out around the pitch trying to run the ball up.
Conor Cahalane battled to get the ball back and won it well. James McCarthy, his manager, who took over from Harry Redknapp, will be happy with that. David Cahalane went inside. It was well defended. Yeah. And they seem to be getting all those calls, Newcestown, at the moment.
Well, you see there now that when Damien delivered that ball in, I think Castlehaven had 3 fellas inside the 45, whereas Newcestown had 7 or 8 back, and the opposite then applies on the other end. So, you know, it might not be a high-scoring spectacle today. It'll probably be a little bit more of a dogfight. Forwards might find it tough, and it may be low-scoring. As you said earlier, goals could mean a lot today. I think Castlehaven should try and commit a couple of their dangerous guys. You can see Brian is making a run to try and get into the attacking half now here in front of us, but they do need to commit a couple more numbers forward.
Cathal Maguire is one of those numbers. Castlehaven just has to be smart. There's no point in running into tackles and getting turned over. Here's Conor Cahalan. They are patient, Castlehaven. They are experienced.
They are, yeah. Look, and they have the lead so far, and they won't be too panicked. But I have a feeling. Look, Conor Cahalan's picking it up here deep. Mark Collins is playing quite deep. Damien is deep. There's 3 kind of good ball players. They don't need all of them back the field. They need 1 or 2 to commit and get forward, like Mark is trying to do there.
It might open up a bit here. That was some good running and calm play. Here's Michael Hurley, I beg your pardon. I knew I'd confuse him at some point. That's a good take, a little pop and go. Mark Collins is making a run. It comes to him. He's in here. Collins! Good save by the goalkeeper. Really good save by the goalkeeper. Made himself big there, Chris White. Newcestown on the counter-attack. Colin Deneen. Keane. Sean O'Donovan. I was speaking to Cora Keane during the week. He said, whatever you do, don't refer to me as a veteran. I said, if I do, it'll be a compliment.
Well, he's younger than me, so you can't have...
that was a really good take by Ty Toomey. Can they guide the ball to Garrod O'Donovan? No, they can, but he's got an awful lot of work to do to get it into hand. Then he's absolutely ambushed. Held on to it for too long. The referee gives the free out. Really, Tigers tackling. That's quite loose, but they get away with it. And that's another free out.
It's a very good ball. It's a great ball.
Really good ball. Now here comes...
Stole a couple of yards with the free, but...
Here's Welton. Welton still going. Little bit aimless there from Welton. Hurley intercepts. Ryan Hurley against Keane, 2 experienced operators, 2 top-class operators. That's well taken. The turn and the shot is coming. The shot is coming from Conor O'Driscoll. The point has come from Conor O'Driscoll. Really good score. 3 points to 1, Castlehaven leading. Minutes.
Yeah, we're probably closing in on a water break now here soon, but Castlehaven will be much the happier. They've got their 2-point lead at this stage, and they are controlling more of the ball and the possession.
Damien Cahalan to David McCarthy. Is there a way through? David McCarthy. There's more off the ball stuff. We'll come back to that in just a second. Trying to hoover it up now is Michael Hurley. His brother had gotten a tangle off the ball. That tangle is still going on between him and Cian Toomey. David McCarthy. 2 to aim at on the near side, but he just pops it inside. Lovely ball to Conor Cahalan. Conor Cahalan sending it into Conor O'Driscoll. And again, Newcestown have the numbers back. John, you've raised the point a couple of times now. For all the defending Newcestown have done and for the difficulties that they're giving Castlehaven, they still trail by 2 points. They're going to have to come out at some point.
Yeah, definitely. Look, they've obviously kind of looked to be solid at the back as part of their game plan. But, you know, I'm looking up there sometimes and there's 2 Castlehaven against maybe 6 Newcestown defenders. So, you know, that's costing them then at the other end. They don't look a great threat. They've had one goal chance where Ty got the ball and turned and got inside, but other than that they haven't been a threat. So it's about getting that balance between the solidity at the back but also being a threat at the other end.
Well, they had a free which they moved backwards through David Buckley. Condonine. Mark Kelly. Keane's hovering around the goal inside. Kelly stays going. That's a shot from an angle from Keane. And there wasn't much in it, but it was wide.
Yeah.
Kind of snapped at it.
Yeah, look, it was kind of well worked. He made the right run and came around on the loop and got on the loop. It was a shot. It was a chance. It was a pretty good chance for a player like Cork, but he just dragged it a little bit wide. There's a nice little crowd after gathering out there on the road, outside the grounds. So, I think there's 200 outside. It's a difficult job to control it.
They don't have cherry pickers like we do right now.
Some of them do. Our guys on the left here have a cherry picker as well.
It is Castlehaven who lead by 3 points to 1 against Newcestown. If you're over in that Castlehaven side at the moment, what are you telling the players? What are the instructions?
For Castlehaven, look, they'll be relatively happy, but I do think they can afford to commit a couple more forward. As I said, there's sometimes when you look up, there's 6-7 defenders against 2 or 3. So maybe get Mark Collins and Conor Cahalan and Damien and these guys picking up the ball around midfield, half forward. They have the capability to score from distance, and if they commit a little bit forward, a couple of those guys have to come out and meet them, and it'll create space for Michael and Brian inside. But at the same time, they'll be relatively pleased because they're controlling the threat from Newcestown at the other side. I think it's the onus is on Newcestown really more to get the balance right in their setup.
Break the line and put it in. This is the advantage of hovering above the team talk. We can hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
I'm whispering because they can hear me, but he's not saying anything that you haven't picked up already, John. He's not saying anything they probably don't know themselves.
Yeah, look, it's Brian and Cullum are giving the instructions there. I would say they're not pleased with that opening 15 from Newcestown. Like I said, they're not breaking the lines in around the middle in order to get decent ball into Cork and Tig and Cian Healy, because 1 point from a free after 15 minutes is a poor return. So they're going to need to address that problem.
So we'll resume with an Anthony Seymour kick out, originally from Bishopstown, but now plying his trade with Castlehaven. I saw Bishopstown tweeting that John Egan was going to play for the juniors that night. Whether he did or didn't, I'm not sure. But imagine if you're like me and you're a junior F, nearly 40-year-old cornerback, and John Egan comes on and you're thinking, here, come on.
Yeah, look.
Take me off, give me a water break, give me something.
I'm not sure John Egan is going to risk his millions over in the Premier League to play junior football, but it was a little bit of publicity for Bishopstown, and having come through the ranks and underage at Bishopstown, I'm sure they're very proud of what he's achieved.
Yeah, seems to be a top quality guy as well, operating with a top quality club. Bishopstown with a bit of a chastening yesterday. This is a good surging greyhound-like run. Damien Cahalan. Here's Michael Hurley. Hurley looking for an angle, finding an angle, and kicking it wide. And they've had a couple drop short into the goalkeeper, but that was their first wide.
Yeah, but Michael's shots, the shots he's getting and the ball he's getting, he's under a lot of pressure, A strong run there from Damien. Mentioning John Egan, Damien would be a very good friend of John Egan's. A strong run forward, little pop, but Michael's shot was difficult and under pressure.
Lovely dink ball in over the top.
Oh, yeah.
Good mark taken by Conor O'Driscoll.
He's outside the 45.
Yeah, Conor O'Driscoll, yeah, exactly. He had to move pretty quickly. He caught everyone out, including me. If that goes over, that's a sweet strike. Oh, that is wonderful. Yeah. That is a perfect strike from Maguire.
Yeah, it's a good score from Cahill. Like I say, Cork under 20 maybe 2 years ago. Plays hurling with Courcey Rovers, but is a very, very good footballer for Castlehaven. Chipped in with a couple of scores against us, and both here last year and in Clan in the first round. Chris White, after
Castlehaven kind of pushed up on the kick out. Deneen brought down by O'Driscoll on the way out.
Newcestown have been hurling for the last 2 weeks as well. You know maybe they haven't been concentrating on their football as much as Castlehaven have.
Driving on is Colm O'Donovan. All the way is the shout from the sideline. Just spilled and regathered by Tyke Toomey. Tyke Toomey stuck to by Rory Maguire. It's lost on the way through by Jack Mead, but it is a free in. And it's taken quickly. Keane. He's kind of ambushed there, wasn't he?
Yeah, look, I don't know about Joe taking a free shot from that position in tough conditions. You know, if you trust your free taker there, you tell him put it down and put it over.
Mark Collins, policed by O'Donovan. Damien Cahalane. Jimmy Walsh. Oh, miss aims at Colm. Deneen is going to intercept or certainly shepherd it out. It's a line ball to Newcestown.
Yeah, again, Castlehaven only had one player inside the 45, Conor O'Driscoll, and Michael is even drifting out a little bit now because I think he's getting a bit frustrated inside, being marked by extra numbers. So Castlehaven are going to be mindful not to empty their forward line.
Buckley. Toomey takes that really well. Good defending, good hassling and harrying. Micheál McSweeney is all the way up there. Keane eventually gets it in hand. And Newcestown, through sheer determination and willpower, win the free.
Yeah, it was a bit scrappy over there in the corner. Didn't know what was going to come of it. Tyke got battled up and turned over. Michael McSweeney took over then, got battled in the corner, but Catharock used his strength and physicality to pick up the ball under pressure and win the free.
Which Cian Healy will take.
It's an important kick for Newcestown. It's a tough angle for the right footer. That's a good score.
Over it goes. Gap down to 2. Newcestown's first score since the 8th minute. McCarthy. He's up and down that left side. That's a lovely turn. Brian Hurley draws it in beautifully. Yeah. What a response from Castlehaven.
Yeah, that's a bit of a classic Brian Hurley move there, win the ball in the corner, turn sharply, take his man on, beat him and just slot it over. Look, Brian has had a lot of trouble with injuries the last few years, but he's still a top quality forward when he gets the right service. So that's a boost for Castlehaven to have him back playing good football.
His second point of the game, Brian Hurley. You get the feeling he's not done yet.
No, and look, I think Newcestown have definitely put a target on Michael. But so if Brian is clever, he might find space for himself here.
Conor O'Driscoll is fouled, and it's a foul, and it's a free into Castlehaven. It's from a very kind angle.
Yeah, look, it's very sluggish from Newcestown. They're very, very slow working it out of the defence. They don't look to be at the races so far in this game. A very soft turnover. Markey, you'd expect him to put this over, give Castlehaven a 4-point lead, which in a low scoring game is a significant lead.
Collins guides it over. Castlehaven by 4. Newcestown, they're not the kind of game that it suits to be. They're not the kind of team that it suits to be behind in a match, are they?
No, look, I suppose I'm not as familiar with this Newcestown team as I would be of I'm of Catharock and Tyke's generation as opposed to the younger players that they have. But they do look like they like to run the ball, and the conditions aren't conducive to that kind of running game. It's very slippy, greasy. Castlehaven are being a bit more simple, a bit more direct, little bit extra quality inside the forwards. It's paying off for them so far.
Roland Welton in acres of space. Inside it goes. Good pass. And a vital intervention. Luke Meade comes away with it. He had to get there. And then it's lost. Welton gets a hand in. Gets a bit of a push as well from Jack Meade, but they'll drive on. Here's David McCarthy.
Yeah.
Hurley. Brian Hurley. Brian Hurley looking for his third point, and Castlehaven 7th. Doesn't give up on it, drops it on to the right and wide.
Yeah, Brian probably had an opportunity to shoot before there. Took too long about it between considering his shot, and Cathal Maguire was also in a good position. You would have expected them to get a score out of that. But Castlehaven are well on top here.
Welton is being spoken to by the referee. The yellow card. And now he has to be careful for the rest of the match as we come up to half time. Remember, in the club game it's 30 minutes a half.
Roland is no stranger to the physical game and picking up the odd card.
I don't think any of these boys are. Especially not in these West Cork derbies. Here comes Garrod O'Donovan, Cork under 20, moves it to Cork Keane, a man who's represented Cork in the past as well himself at various age grades. Lovely turn by McSweeney. Jack Meade. Luke Meade has the chase after this one. Surely there was a push on Toomey off the ball. Lane was close to it, but he's letting it go. O'Donovan. Sean O'Donovan. Recycled by Meade. Moved on by Garrod O'Donovan. David Buckley. We know he can score, but not on this occasion. 3 points last time out. Couldn't add to his total for the championship so far there.
Yeah, look, Newcestown are not working it into scoring positions too easily. It's slow. They're under pressure when they're trying to get it forward. They're really going to have to try and adapt their game so that they're creating opportunities better.
Michael Hurley. Conor Cahalan. Damien Cahalan. David Buckley closing him down, but Damien Cahalan really cool under pressure. Guiding it towards Hurley. Kind of breaks off himself, but accidentally gives a good pass. Nudge on the way through, and it's a cheap foul, but it's still a foul. Mark Collins taking it, running it, causing problems, and winning the free for his team.
But you kind of see the difference between the teams there again. Look, Damien looked up, delivered a long ball. Brian made the run. He was hoping to collect and get a mark and get an easy score, but it spilled. Cathal Maguire was first to it. Mark Collins off the shoulder and got inside his man and won the free.
Michael Hurley made a break there. He thought he might receive it short from Collins, but I think Collins is just going to guide this over. When or if we get back to inter-county football, if you've got Michael and Brian Hurley and Mark Collins in good form, you've got the basis of a good attacking unit, don't you?
You do. Look, they're three very good players, both at club and county level. It's good to see Mark. Look, the pressure they put on here.
Into the path of O'Driscoll. O'Driscoll is bottled up. Doesn't give up on it and wins the free. They want to go quickly. Roland Welton had made the break forward, and there was a straight route to goal for him had he received it, but they weren't allowed.
Yeah, Newcestown are the architects of their own downfall again. A short kick out, which is fine, but conditions are difficult, and he was under pressure, and he spilled it, and it could have been a goal chance if Castlehaven had collected first time.
I think our director knows something that we don't, because he just handed an umbrella up onto the cherry picker here, John. Mark Collins. He can make it rain whenever he wants. Brilliant point. 4-0 for him.
Yeah, look, he's slotting his frees very easy. Brian's got a couple of scores as well. I'm sure Michael will chip in. As you're saying, look, they're three inter-county players, three inter-county forwards, and at club level, Cathal Maguire to add into that mix, who's under 20. Conor Cahalan has also played underage with Cork. Five players at club level to play inter-county forwards. that's a significant asset.
Yeah, even the non-stellar names are still incredibly good club players. Well, Cork is the aim this year. It, of course, can be the only aim because there is no Munster and All-Ireland Club Championship. The calendar too squeezed. I think people are disappointed, but they understand. They know there's not much else can be done. Newcestown looking for something to cling to towards half-time. Here's Colin Dineen. Dineen is still going. And that was very clever play by Colin Dineen. I think he knew they had to take him down.
Yeah, definitely. He's after a long, hard run. It's difficult to take the shot on after that. So he looked for the contact and take the free, and should slot this over. It'll be their third point from a free. They haven't scored from play yet. They have to improve on that.
A much needed score. Cian Healy gets it. A lucky bounce, quite literally, for Newcestown. Can they do anything with it? Mead. He's got Cian in support. Now he's got David Buckley. Cian. Cian Healy. Fionn Cian. Inside it went to Mead. Cian Healy. And it's wide. And Castlehaven just blocked up the routes and wouldn't let them through.
Yeah, look. Again, it was relatively slow from Newcestown, so Castlehaven were able to get numbers back and squeeze them out.
And that is the half-time whistle. A half-time that has been very good for Castlehaven, who lead by 5 points, and there's a little bit of pushing and shoving. It's very easy to say from up here, you need to walk away from that kind of stuff when you're in the heat of battle, John Hayes. I imagine it's something quite different, and sensibly both the mentors and players that got involved just walk away. Castlehaven leading by 5 at the break, worthy of their lead, I'm sure you'd agree.
Look, Castlehaven are well on top in their first half. They're the better team, they're more dangerous. Look, I kind of said before the game that they'd probably look to be more direct than Newcestown. It has transpired that way. Mark Collins, Brian Hurley doing the scoring. They've found scores a lot easier to come by, so they'll be far the happier at half time.
What can Newcestown do to get it back into this game? They probably need goals.
They probably do. Look, I think to begin with, they've clearly tried to set up to contain with the numbers that they were having back in their own half with 6 versus 2 at times inside the 45. So you can't have that many because you're paying the price at the other end, and you're also inviting the team to come on to you. So possibly, if they want one sweeper, fair enough, but they're going to have to commit more bodies forward, run at Castlehaven, try and win frees to bring themselves back into it, and hope that maybe Tyke Toomey or Cork or something creates something for a goal chance at some stage.
Well, I hope you're enjoying this game wherever you're watching it from. Remember, you can keep your messages coming through. At the break, Castlehaven leading by 8 points to 3. Castlehaven, as it stands, looking good to secure their spot in the knockout stages. But as we say, even if they win today, which would be their second win, they wouldn't be done in the group, because the third game is important. If you top your group and you're the best winner of a group, if that makes sense, then you'll go straight through to the semi-finals. Newcestown, though, not done yet. They're a spirited bunch, they're a spirited club, and we've seen that in every aspect of what Newcestown have done and are continuing to do in the last couple of years. They're building something special there, aren't they?
Yeah, look, definitely they've had both these clubs are well renowned for the spirit that they have. Newcestown are keeping the fight going on two fronts with hurling and football. They won't give up. There's no give up in their team, in their club. So they will come back and hit the second half with everything they've got. Is 5 points too much for them to pull back? potentially, but as you're saying, if they can somehow manufacture a goal, continue to run at Castlehaven and win a freeze, the game's not over, but Castlehaven are in a very, very strong position.
At the break, Castlehaven leading by 8 points to 3. Stick with us, the second half to come from here in Skibbereen. gives a measuring rule back here. Welcome back to a rainy Skibbereen where Castlehaven lead by 5 at the break. Newcestown have made a couple of changes. Daniel Toomey and Seamus O'Sullivan have come in for Mark Kelly and Cian Healy. John Hayes, are you a little bit surprised by those changes?
Well, I'm surprised that they've taken the free taker off. But I suppose, look, Daniel Toomey has been a long-serving player for Newcestown. He may take over that role. He's a good kicker himself. Capable of kicking points from distance as well, which is something that they need. So, yeah, look, I'm not surprised to see Daniel come in, but they definitely needed to make changes. You know, they haven't started this game well. First half was poor for them, so they need a lot more.
They did have some chances in Newcestown, but they kicked 4 wides now. A lot of those wides, or most of those wides, were because of the pressure that they were put under from Castlehaven, and that they were forced to shoot from tight angles.
Yeah, they didn't work the ball into scoring positions well, to be honest. You know, the 3 frees and no points from play tells its own story. Seamus O'Sullivan making his mark there straight away with a hard hit on Mark Collins, but that won't worry Marky.
Kieran O'Sullivan, down the line he aims it. I think that's Conor O'Driscoll who comes onto it, left behind by Jimmy Welch. Conditions getting worse. Handling will be even more difficult in the second half. It was difficult enough in the first because although it wasn't raining, it was wet, if you know what I mean. The ground was wet, so the ball got wet very quickly. Yeah,
look, it's going to be difficult. It's greasy, slippy. It's going to be actually very hard for Newcestown to work it forward with their game plan and get the scores easily. They might have to try and be more direct, let ball in longer and earlier, and hope that, you know, like Cork is well able to win difficult ball. So is Tig, so is Daniel. Hit those guys a bit faster, and hope for potentially mistakes out of the defenders as well, because that's the only way. Because, you know, I can't see them working 8 or 10 points out of the second half.
And they have to be more disciplined as well, because 4 of Castlehaven's 8 so far have come from frees. All of those struck by Mark Collins. Newcestown yet to score from play in this game.
Another change for Newcestown. I'm not sure if who's gone off, but they look to be injured on the far side.
They'd already made 2 changes at the break. Now they're making another third already.
Mm-hmm. It looks to be maybe an arm injury for Colm O'Donovan.
Big loss.
Yeah, look, in the context of playing, you know, games week after week and picking up injuries, it's a tough blow.
It's a little bit loose at the start of the second half, and look what it means to Castlehaven to win that ball back. The biggest cheer of the game so far has come for that, not for any of their 8 points.
Yeah, look, Damien was quite cute there just before the free was kicked, a little drag of the jersey, and he managed to get out in front and win the free.
David McCarthy recycles, came up against Seamus O'Sullivan, I think there. McCarthy gets it back. Castlehaven on the prowl through Brian Hurley. That's a good surging run. Touched it on the ground though, gets away with it. O'Driscoll goes out wide. Here's Damien Cahalane. Roland Welton. Always there on the overlap, Roland Welton. Always a good option to go to if you need to kind of widen it out a bit and get down the channels. However, they can't control it.
Yeah, you can see the difficulty players are having controlling the ball in the second half in the greasy conditions.
Just to confirm, it's James Keller who came on for Newcestown. Coming out of defence is Colm Dineen. Recycled to Sean O'Donovan. Sean O'Donovan still going. Jack Mead. Mead has options, but they are all backwards. Mead wins it again. In fact, he just escorts it out, takes his line ball. Down the line it goes to David Buckley. Buckley is fouled.
Again, they're looking to take this free short. When they need to put it down, put it over the bar. It's not an easy free, but you know a good right-footed free taker will be looking to take it on, get the point, get it back to 4-point game, and you know just chip away at the scoreboard.
I think that's Daniel Toomey who's taken it, slots it into Tig Toomey. Daniel's still there as an option. Tig moves inside. Out it goes to Fionn Keane. Played underage hurling with Cork, Fionn Keane. Cushions it on. Tig Toomey. Newcestown, can they get in behind and get the goal they desperately need? Keeper Anthony Seymour stayed strong. Seamus O'Sullivan didn't have much of an angle to work with there.
No, and again, look, the option taken, you know, they took off their free taker at half time. You know, that's a free that a good free taker should be at least looking to knock over the bar, at least attempting to. They worked it short and gain no benefit from doing so. You know, so it's a little bit of a let off for Castlehaven, and it's another little dint into the confidence of Newcestown.
I'm not sure if you could hear it there, but Brian Hurley was screaming, he's going to go short, and then he darted forward himself to cover it off. Here's Colm Dineen. Doesn't catch it right at all, but it might actually stay in. That's a really good take. Support is there from David Buckley if they can find him. Instead they go to Sean O'Donovan. Colm Dineen as the rain stops in Skibbereen. Colm Dineen. Oh, it was almost kept in, but Daniel Toomey just couldn't quite get there. Over the bar is what they're shouting at him, but in fairness to Colm Dineen, didn't have too many options there and probably did the right thing maybe by going for it. Sometimes you just have to gamble.
Yeah, he had to in the end. Like as I said, it's a poor kick out from Castlehaven there, but you know they worked it forward. Garrod O'Donovan made a run and could have received it, but ended up again with a difficult shot being taken on.
Tig Toomey, good ball. Luke Mead. Mead didn't catch it right, but he was fouled as he struck it, so it's a free in.
Yeah, again, probably was a free, but again, didn't take an opportunity when it presented itself and relying on frees for their scores.
It hit a dog behind the goal, but I think he's okay. So Newcestown looking for their first score of the half. Daniel Toomey puts it over.
You know, they've got a Newcestown of a very experienced trio inside now. Cork, Keane, Daniel Toomey and Tig Toomey. You know, all around my own age, like, so they've been around a while. But like they're going to have to be more direct.
They're pushing up on the kickouts as well. They are going for this. Here's David McCarthy.
Look at Sean O'Donovan ran from centre field 60 yards back to try and cover. You know, it's energy sapping stuff that Newcestown play.
David McCarthy inside, intercepted, basketball style. I think that was O'Donovan who got in the way of it.
It was Sean O'Donovan. You know, he did, at least he was effective when he got back there, and they've got a counter attack here now.
Here's Keane Toomey, only 18, a minor last year. Keane back inside to Toomey, who's full of running. Daniel Toomey trying to shake off his man, but he's turned over by Ronan Walsh, who's not naturally a fullback, but that was a good piece of fullback play.
Yeah, they got the numbers back there and got a good tackle in and turned it over. Like again, Newcestown running the ball forward. You know, it was a short little hand pass to Cork. He wasn't really in a great position when he received it. And Castlehaven were able to get the numbers back and get the turnover.
Cathal Maguire motoring nicely. A snapshot from Conor O'Driscoll. which goes wide.
Didn't take the score there at the end, Conor O'Driscoll, but you see how much easier it was for them to work a scoring opportunity. Not as energy sapping as the work Newcestown are doing.
It's been an intense and hard fought second half so far. Cathal Maguire after Castlehaven won Newcestown's kick out. Here's Michael Hurley.
It's a good ball.
Lovely ball. Cahalan.
It's a really good ball from Michael Hurley to pick out Conor Cahalan. You'd expect him to put that one over. He'll be disappointed with himself there.
Well, 2 wides in a row that you'd expect Castlehaven to score, and Newcestown are hanging on in there.
Yeah, that's the thing here. There's only 4 points in it. They're not out of this game. They haven't scored easily or created opportunities easily. As I said, they've got some experienced campaigners inside. If they can just look to be a little bit more direct, take a gamble and use the kick pass a little more than they are doing.
And say it quietly, but I think there's a bit of blue sky up there. We might get some sunshine. Here's Roland Welton. Welton looking for Hurley, and he finds him, Brian Hurley. Conor O'Driscoll does well to hang on to that because it came at pace and at an awkward angle. O'Sullivan dips the shoulder. O'Sullivan, good tackle coming in from Luke Meade.
That should have been a 45.
It really, really should have been. Kelleher back there, and with some clever play, I would say, got the possession for his team. Colm O'Donovan is underneath us in a sling. That's why he was brought off at half time, obviously, or just after half time, I should say. Yeah. Let's hope that's just a precaution and he'll be okay.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened when he came off, but he looks to be in
he took an awkward fall over on the far side. The under feet conditions not amazing. The pitch in really, really good condition, but it is wet and it is slippery.
It is, and when you get it's a really solid, really good surface, and then when you get a bit of a greasy top on it, it can be very difficult to hold your footing.
Luke Meade. O'Sullivan a little heavy-handed, says Conor Lane.
A little bit, but Luke was carrying the ball into the tackle. It's a hard hit. It is a free, possibly a yellow card at most, I would say. But Newcestown are taking it, and it's energy sapping. Luke took a heavy hit there, and that'll probably slow him down a little bit as well.
O'Sullivan with a yellow card. McSweeney will get us back underway. Well taken. Gerald O'Donovan. Turning and twisting his tie to me.
Yeah. Tyga's probably been the most dangerous of the Newcestown forwards so far.
Keane got it off to Buckley. Buckley finds a gap.
Good score.
Buckley finds a score, and Newcestown's first score from play in this game.
Yeah, and it's a very good score as well. Tyke Toomey, as I was just saying, has probably been their most dangerous forward. He's always been a good ball winner, always been a lively operator, and managed to get the support runner there, and it was a great shot.
So Castlehaven yet to score in the second half, and Newcestown giving them problems. The ball is aimed in towards Keane. Lots of screaming and shouting for the ball for Cork Keane. Here's Gerald O'Donovan. Mark Collins bravely in for it. Newcestown man down, and let's hope he's okay. Collins down as well.
Yeah, that's one of those incidents now from the slippery pitch that you'll be talking about, and two key players for both their teams down, seemingly quite hurt.
But Keane doesn't mess around. He wouldn't stay down unless he was hurt. And
no, and look, Marky's the same,
Yep, exactly.
Two experienced guys, two big physical men. Mark has filled out quite a lot in the last few years. He would have been a lot slighter before, but it was just, look, the ball was there on the ground and on the floor between them. Both of them were committed and ended up clashing into each other. There was no malice in either challenge.
Well, let's hope they're both okay. Let's hope they can both play on. They'd both be significant losses for their teams if they had to go off. Newcestown are about to make a switch. Conor O'Neill is on for Newcestown. What is interesting, and it's something you don't normally get to hear when you're not as close to the action and there's a lot more people on the ground, is the guys talking among each other as to where each of them go. And it seems that the leadership for Castlehaven is kind of coming from each other. They're talking to each other.
Yeah, look, I mean, you hear Damien kind of talking and orchestrating things. Look, he's around a while now, experienced campaigner, so he's one of their leaders. He's going to talk it. You can hear Brian Hurley is, issuing instructions from full forward, another one of their senior guys. So look, it is a kind of an interesting facet for people who maybe wouldn't hear it so much at other games. With the lack of crowd, you can hear all the sideline instructions and the players talking to each other on the pitch.
Cork is still down.
Yeah, it would be a big blow for Newcestown if Cork had to come off, because I've repeated myself a few times now, but they should look to go direct a little bit more. And Cork on the edge of the square is capable of causing problems if he gets a good ball in. So they're going to want him to recover and take his place in the game. Sounds like they're saying he's not going to be able to continue.
Well, they've already made the change, so I can't see him staying on. Let's hope he's okay, and let's hope that he doesn't miss any more football or hurling.
I think he wants to stay.
He wants to stay. Being the warrior he is, that was always going to be the case.
They're taking the decision off him, so like maybe it's kind of wiser heads, depending on what the injury is. It is a blow for Newcestown, and look, you're right, they've got hurling and football to worry about going forward as well.
They're going okay in the hurling as well, aren't they?
They are, I think, yeah, one win and one loss in their thing. So, it's a brilliant system for the clubs to have this certainty and to have this group stages and stuff like that.
David Buckley squeezes one over. Well, we were waiting a long time for a Newcestown score from play, and now I think it's two in a row.
Yeah, and I think David Buckley with both of them and two good scores. I think just to finish the point there, and as brilliant as this is for the clubs to have it is a tough campaign for the dual teams.
Well, 3 points in a row for Newcestown, 2 of them in a row from play. The second half has been all there so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Castlehaven haven't worked the scoreboard in the second half yet. They've had a couple of opportunities. Maybe they kind of lulled into a little bit of complacency that they had this job done, but Newcestown are coming well into it.
Garrod O'Donovan got up and got a mark. That was a big win of a ball there from the Cork Under-20 All-Ireland winner. David Buckley inside. Toomey. Colin Deneen snakes in. Just didn't catch it right when there were options.
Yeah, look, he made a good run and a good burst, but he should have been looking for a support player in that position. It was a difficult shot, one of those outside of the boot ones that look glorious when they go over but are difficult to execute.
Remember, this can end level because it is a group format at the moment. Castlehaven end the group with a game against Illan Rovers, a game you'd expect them to win. And for Newcestown, it's a game against Carbery Rangers.
Yeah, look, as I said, it's obviously a very interested spectator here today. Have a strong interest and a direct interest in this game. And look, the simple reality of it is, from our perspective, it's a lot cleaner if Castlehaven take the victory here today, or a draw. But if Newcestown do win, you could end up in a situation where even if we beat Newcestown, it wouldn't be enough.
Brian Hurley, keep the head is the shout from the Newcestown mentors. Brian Hurley just sends this one direct and wide. He is up against the breeze. It's not very strong, but it did seem to catch it a little.
Yeah, but again, kind of, he was looking for options. He was looking around for someone to give it to. He didn't get any options and ended up having a bit of a Hail Mary. Now, if they were going to shoot, I'm surprised Damien doesn't come forward and try and put that down off the ground, because he would be generally their long range free taker.
And no score yet in the second half for Castlehaven.
Yeah, they've gone out of the game. Again, maybe they thought the job was done. But Newcestown, as we said at half time, they have a great spirit. There's a chance here now for Castlehaven to work.
Well, they've turned it over. Castlehaven, they'll want to show their class. Here's Hurley, slips it inside to Collins. It's opening up for Collins, who fists it over, settles his team with the score.
Yeah, look, goal was on there, and I'm sure Marky will go for it. But as you said, they haven't scored in the second half. Newcestown are getting a bit of momentum, so just to take score there and settle things down for Castlehaven again was probably the sensible option.
And we're at the water break in a second half that has flown by and has an awful lot of incident.
Yeah.
Happy to say that Cork he was standing by the sideline there a couple of minutes ago. Not sure where he's gone now. He's just under us, in fact. So glad to see he has to be rushed off or anything like that. But Castlehaven leading by 3, and you know what? This is an awful lot tougher to call now than it was at half time.
Yeah, look, I mean, at half time and early in the second half, it looked to be a big ask for Newcestown, but they had it back to 2 points there. That could be an important score for Castlehaven, as it is a low scoring game. But Newcestown have shown, like we said, they committed more bodies there forward from the start to the second half, and they've got the reward in their scores. So it's still all to play for. 3 points in it, more momentum with Newcestown. But look, if Castlehaven maybe pick up their ideas again, then you might have a slight fancy for Castlehaven to see it through.
You mentioned there that Cork game was a big loss because they can go direct to him, but they do still have that option in the 2-2-mies. So would you still do that if you were Newcestown? I
think they'll have to. They have to. I think any game plan should have a bit of variety to it. They've probably tried to work, relied too much on the running game and working it through the hands rather than delivering some direct ball to the full forward line. As I said, Tyg and Daniel are both good ball winners. If they get good ball into them and get support from David Buckley from centre forward, because he's shown he's capable of kicking good scores, then there's a strategy there that could work. And it's probably the only way they're potentially going to get a goal chance as well.
Well, we've gone from umbrellas and wrapping up to taking off the jackets. It's now that warm here in Skibbereen. The rain has stopped. The sun was trying to get out through the dark clouds a couple of minutes ago. It's kind of gone back in now, but it is warm and it's dry. We're delighted to have you with us here on the Irish Examiner's coverage of the Bond Secure Cork Senior Football Championship. This clash between Castlehaven and Newcestown, and Castlehaven leading by 3. Lots more great games to come over the next couple of weeks and months.
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. It's just a pity that more people don't get to see it live and in the flesh. But look, I suppose that's another discussion. You can see all the people out on the road have taken a different vantage point for today. But it's we've got 15 minutes here left or so. Tight championship football, and it's good to have it considering the year that everyone's put down.
And we'll resume with the Newcestown kick out that will come from Chris White. Just goes long, trying to get under it is Garrod O'Donovan. David McCarthy gets a hand on it, but it falls for Garrod O'Donovan. He's pursued by Colin Maguire. It's a 50-50 ball at best. It evades Toomey. Mark Collins. Damien Cahalan. Brian Hurley. That's a shot from a tight angle. If it goes over at some mighty point, it doesn't.
No, it's a good opportunity there for Jack Cahalan. He's a young player. He's a promising young player. You wouldn't blame him for having a go, but maybe needed to steady himself a little bit more, take it in a little bit further.
a very talented man, Jack Cahalan, as you would expect with the second name he has.
Yeah. Look, there's dual players, Damien, Connor and Jack, all dual players with Cork, so strong lineage there.
Into midfield it goes, a good old school battle. Jack Cahalan chasing after it, being pursued by Jack Kelleher. It's a Castlehaven ball. Castlehaven looking a little bit more comfortable now.
Yeah, look, the score that Mark Collins got there just before the water break seems to have settled them a little bit. If they can tack on 2 or 3 more, they'll probably get the better of this, but they do need those extra scores.
Cathal Maguire inside, and it just climbs over.
Yeah, look, Cahill's been pretty good again today. He's a good wing forward. Chips in with 2 or 3 points in most games, and that's very valuable for any team. Takes the pressure off the 2 hurleys as well to have another capable scorer inside.
You can see Brian is kind of dropping out and directing traffic. Michael is more staying inside, and Jack Cahalan there is kind of running up and down the wing. Cathal Maguire brought it in off the wing there. It was a really, really good score. Here's Damien Cahalan. All the 50-50s now being won by Castlehaven. Brian Hurley wants it in the middle, but he's a little bit far away from him, is Cahalan. Referee blows Conor Cahalan for overcarrying. Newcestown need to move quickly. Here's Luke Meade. Toomey comes out to meet it and does. Hand in there, just evades Garrod O'Donovan, but he gets it on the second attempt. Conor O'Neill. Deneen. Luke Meade. Meade outside to Colin Deneen. Deneen!
Good score.
Thought he might bring it in and go for goal, but he probably did the right thing in the end. In the end, it was a good score.
Yeah, look, Colin Deneen has made a good number of bursts forward. So that's the first score, but he has been looking to take the game to Castlehaven at least.
Seymour has to go short, and Maguire is under pressure, but they get it away somehow. Here's Johnny Regan, a lifelong defender, Johnny Regan.
Rory Maguire is down after that challenge. He looks to be in a little bit of pain.
Kieran O'Sullivan, Cahalan's in front of him. That's the option he goes with. Cahalan, lovely twist inside. He has options. Oh. It's a free out. Well, that could have been the end of the game had he got in there, because there was a goal chance on either for himself or if he passed it to someone else.
Yeah, Michael Hurley was in a good position, but I thought that was a little bit harsh on Jack there. But we can see the man down inside here now.
And luckily for Castlehaven, it comes to a blue and white jersey, because the referee is stopping it up.
Referee is calling it back to take the kick out again, I think, or the free.
This will sound like a silly statement, but there could be such a thing as a good loss here, because scoring difference could be a thing at the end of this group.
Yeah, well,
you know,
scoring difference will come into it if certainly if Newcestown win here, and also it could have an impact as well, as you were saying, if a team was to win 3 games and try and get directly into the semi-final.
You never know. I was covering a game last week in the Dublin Hurling Championship, St Jude's and Whitehall Colmcille, and Jude's won but still didn't go through because of scoring difference.
Yeah, and like I said, from a Carbery Rangers perspective, it
makes Toomey. Oh, he's taken down, and it's as cynical as it gets there from Rory Maguire.
Black card straight away.
So that means there should be, in theory, a few more open spaces for Newcestown to run into.
And that's look, they've changed the rule this year with the black card, that it's a sin bin instead of the replacement, and it does make a difference. And I suppose there's only 10 minutes left, so Castlehaven are down to 14 for the last 10, and it's a more appropriate punishment for the offence, and it does give an advantage to the other team. Whereas back along, teams were happy enough to take the foul and make the change.
Daniel Toomey to narrow it to a 2-point game. Oh, he's unlucky.
Unlucky there. It's a tough angle for the right footer. Struck it reasonably well, but it was just on the wrong side of the post, and that would have been a a big momentum behind Newcestown, I think, if they kick that after the black card.
If you've only logged on in the last couple of minutes, we probably have a good bit more time to go because there was a long delay for an injury. So there is time for Castlehaven to win or to lose this, and the same for Newcestown. But coming forward now is Cathal Maguire. Advantage is coming for Castlehaven. Here's Michael Hurley. Had Cahalan outside but goes himself. Michael Hurley still charging like a bull. What a run this is from Michael Hurley. Hurley still going.
He's got a free.
And wins the free. That was brilliant from Michael Hurley. That was Michael Hurley at his best.
Yeah, look, that is Michael's game. You know, he's a bit of a rocket. He's got the low centre of gravity as well. So when he runs at people, you know, he causes serious problems because there was 4 or 5 defenders there. He took them all on. He took them on aggressively. Very hard work, but to win it, a very important free for the team. Mark will kick this over. 4 points in it with maybe 7 or 8 minutes left. You know, that was a crucial moment.
Michael Hurley was like the Tasmanian devil charging through there. Mark Collins taps it over. I'm sure anyone under the age of 35 has no idea what I just referenced there. Ask your parents. It was the after school cartoon of choice in, we'll say, the early 90s, maybe the late 80s.
I'm definitely old enough to remember it anyway, so.
Yeah, but unlike me, you don't look old enough to remember it. Newcestown win the free. Castlehaven by 4.
Yeah, look, Newcestown have an extra man now. Will they use it? Will they be direct? Or are they going to keep running it? It's a good ball. This could be a mark.
Cian Toomey with a very good ball to tie Toomey. On the overlap is Deneen. Oh, he was desperately unlucky. I have to say, I thought that was over from this angle.
It looked tight. It looked close. It kind of looked like it was coming in at the right angle, but you know, the Newcestown players and the player who kicked it isn't complaining. That for me would be a sign that it's probably not the right side of the post for him.
Yeah, he didn't react straight away.
Yeah.
If you're a player and you think that's over, you probably react. He tried that kind of slice kick before in the half. It didn't go well. That one was a little bit better, but still ultimately wide.
Yeah, he's got forward to good effect, but maybe the finished product hasn't been there, and potentially, you know, should be looking for support that's going forwards in those positions. But
now a bit of a loss for Castlehaven. Brian Hurley appears to be going off. He's walking away with the medic there. Remember, they're already down to 14 for the moment because they've had a black card.
Yeah, I think Brian was a bit of a doubt, and obviously he's had a lot of trouble with his hamstrings in the last couple of years. So with a black card and Brian Hurley going off, you know, there's an opportunity here for Newcestown.
Cathal Maguire gets away from Luke Meade. Michael Hurley. Damien Cahalan was calling for it. Eventually comes to him from Mark Collins. David McCarthy. Castlehaven now just kind of icing the clock, I think, and playing a bit of keep ball.
Yeah, they'll look to slow it down. They won't take any unnecessary risks for these last few minutes.
Good take. Nice pass inside. Here's Kieran O'Sullivan. Cathal Maguire. And that's a soft enough free. Damien Cahalan tangling there with I think it was McSweeney.
Yeah, it was a little bit soft, but it gives an opportunity for Newcestown to counter-attack. But again, you know, their numbers are mostly around the middle and not inside in the forward line where they need them.
And they're running out of time and they need goals, and Jack Cahalan steals it back. Good play from Cahalan. Here's Damien Cahalan urging his teammates forward. Cushion ball aimed at Conor O'Driscoll, doesn't get there. Michael Hurley putting the pressure on, but Newcestown have it. Conor O'Neill. Jack Kelleher. Kelleher back to Luke Meade. They're basically hair twins. They actually look really alike, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Luke Meade.
Luke is a little bit bigger, but
Lovely ball over the top for David Buckley. Buckley drops it regathered. He's up against 3. He tried to win the 45, but Castlehaven do really well to get that back. Was that Mark Collins back there?
yeah, it was Mark. It was a turnover for Marky. Look, Castlehaven's experienced players are taking control here when they're down to 14.
Lovely pass to parcel football from Castlehaven, moving it around despite the pressure and the hits that was coming in. Here's Jack Cahalan. Michael Hurley came out to meet it. Just slows it down. Always looks like he's got a second, doesn't he?
Yeah, look, when he
now puts the boot down, Michael Hurley. He was charging illegally there as opposed to just charging. And it's a free out. He overcarried, says the referee. Initially I thought it was because he dipped the shoulder into the Newcestown covering defender, but the referee just said he overcarried it. Here's Luke Meade. Conor O'Neill. He's got Ty Toomey in front of him. Goes to Toomey. Castlehaven have flooded the middle. Here's Conor O'Neill. O'Neill is trying to draw this one over. Oh, the keeper had to be good, and he was. Seymour got a fist to it. Cahalan runs after it. Can't keep it in play though. Seymour is still down, as is one of the Newcestown forwards who was in there.
Yeah, look, that was an attempt for a point which dropped short and almost could have been turned into a goal, but Anthony Seymour did well. It was good goalkeeping because it was a dangerous ball in. He was brave. He got up and got a good knock on it, and to be fair, Mark Collins was there to pick up the break again.
Seymour has had to be patient as he has waited over the years for a number one spot in senior football. He showed why he's got that number one spot in that particular moment.
Yeah, look, he was an underage goalkeeper with Cork, like, so he has ability, and you know he's been back up to first of all Ken O'Halloran and then Paddy Hurley for a long time.
He's learned from the best. Here's Conor O'Driscoll. Michael Hurley is roaming inside. He's completely free. O'Driscoll will probably take it on himself. O'Driscoll goes for goal. He doesn't get it. He'll settle for a point, and it's probably a settling point.
Yeah, it is. Look, Conor's been a good player today for Castlehaven as well. He's chipped in with 2 points now, I think, at this stage. And you know, not only did he get the score, he chipped a lot of bit off the clock there. I think Michael might be in a little bit of bother with the ref here now. But again, I think
was he going for goal?
He was. He ran it into a situation where he was, you know, almost guaranteed to score. He just had a pot off it. Could go over, could go under, and it just clipped the bar and went over. The point is very valuable to Castlehaven now. 5-point lead with a few minutes left. This is where Newcestown might miss Cork because it takes away the direct option to them.
Well, there was a foul inside on Toomey. Well, they know they can't just pop it over. They have to go for goal. Turning and twisting is O'Donovan, who goes to ground. It spills. Picked up by Newcestown hands. The hands of David Buckley, I think. The referee is given the free out. It wasn't Buckley anyway. I'm not sure who was there, but they were converged on by a sea of blue and white.
Yeah, half a chance for a goal there, but Castlehaven bottled them up and got the turnover, and Newcestown are starting to run out of opportunities now.
Corkeen was a huge loss for Newcestown because they were beginning to get on top, and he was a great option to have. Castlehaven looking to go 6 up if they can. Turning and twisting. Cathal Maguire inside. Hurley! That is that! What a finish! That's emphatic from Hurley.
Yeah, look, very well worked goal. I mean, we have to remember here that Newcestown have the extra man, and it's Castlehaven are creating all the chances. You know, that little bit of extra firepower that they have paid off there. And look, like you were referencing earlier, scoring difference could come into the equation with the group stages. So that's a big boost to Castlehaven.
Well, Castlehaven looking good for top spot now because you'd fancy them in the final game of the group. I would say with a good deal of certainty they're probably through to the quarter-finals now at the very least, but as we say, if you top your group and you're the best.
He's given Michael Hurley a red card for a second yellow and a red. A little bit of verbals between himself and Michael McSweeney, and Conor Lane didn't take kindly to it. I think Michael might have been just reminding Michael Hurley might have been reminding Michael McSweeney of the score after he buried that one. But now it's 15 against 13. It's probably too late with the difference between at the moment. But
Dara Cahalan was, and you can see him chasing after Colm Dineen there now. He was pretty decent in the build up for that goal, but it was Michael Hurley who finished it, and now he's been sent off. McSweeney, Meade drops it over when it really needed to drop under, although Seymour had it covered.
You know, I think, like, considering how far they're behind, you'd probably expect them to try and think of goal there, but maybe Luke has in the back of his head that scoring difference could make a difference, and it's obvious. I have an eye on that as well, but probably clever from Luke in the long run, because I don't see them getting the win here.
Well, as we say, there is a lot of injury time because there were significant delays due to injuries. That's a really good ball inside, taken by Jack Mead. Jack Mead to Ty Toomey, and he puts it over. And the way he kind of reacted afterwards, I would suggest that he was going for goal and just didn't catch it right. But it's a good response from Newcestown. 2 points in a row after conceding a goal like that. Granted, they do have the numerical advantage. They are 15 against 13 at this stage.
Yeah, they are. They're working opportunities there now. A little bit more direct, a little bit more aggressive, attacking wise. Look, Ty Toomey's inside there in full forward with no one marking them. If they can win a ball here, they have great opportunity. I'm not sure Castlehaven have quite copped that yet, but all over.
That's it, all over. Castlehaven beat Newcestown 112 to 9 points. It's 2 victories in the group for Castlehaven. It's 1-0 for Newcestown, but they're not done yet. John Hayes, what did you make of it all?
Look, it's getting feisty out in the pitch now.
Well, it was always going to get feisty at times between these two. I thought it would be during the game rather than immediately after it. If they're smart, they'll just walk away. Again, very easy to say that when you're not in the thick of it.
No, you can see Castlehaven are trying to get their players out of it. They're after getting the win. They're happy with everything that's happened. They don't want any suspensions or anything for the next round. Newcestown should be thinking similar as well. Look, they've got hurling and football to worry about.
Pumping, and that's good to see. That's smart to see. How did Castlehaven win this one in the end?
I think they won it really from a simpler game plan and kind of more firepower inside in the forwards. They were more direct. They looked to deliver ball in quicker than Newcestown did to the forwards, to Brian Hurley, Michael Hurley. Cathal Maguire had a very good game. Mark Collins, played well around midfield and chipped in with all his frees and an important point from play as well. So a little bit more scoring power and also a little bit of a simpler, more direct game plan. Got the scores at crucial time. Mark Collins' point just before the water break, I think, when Newcestown had it back to 2 points, was a critical score. And despite the black card and the red card, they were able to see it out.
It's almost time to send the cherry picker home. It's been entertaining days football here in Skibbereen, and our thanks to everyone in O'Donovan Rossa, who was very welcoming and have been very generous in the facilities and everything they've given us. John, what will Newcestown take from this game? Because it won't all be negative, will it?
No, they showed a lot of spirit and fight there in the second half to bring it back into a tighter second half and brought it back to 2 points, and they had an opportunity there to make a tighter finish of it until Castlehaven got a couple of those scores late on. What they'll take out of it is that they have a break for a week now. I think, look, that's important for their minds and for their legs. They've got a week off when the divisions play next week. They'll have a round of hurling, and then we're going to have a game against them. And look, we played Newcestown not so many times in the last few years, but regularly in the past, and it's never been an easy game. It's going to be another tough, hard championship match. It's very simple now in terms of it's a straight knockout game between the two of us. So we know we have to win. A draw will do Newcestown because I think they have the better scoring difference. But it's a do or die championship game.
You can see with the Newcestown lads, they're down, but they know they're not out. One more game in the group to come, and it's against your good selves in Carbery Rangers. For Castlehaven, they're looking good for topping the group, because you would fancy them in that last game, with the greatest respect to Inner Rovers, but they've lost their 2 games, so it's hard to see them getting the better of Castlehaven, who at times today were mesmeric. And that goal from Michael Hurley, it was an outstanding finish, but there was great work in the build up to it as well, wasn't there? It was everything good about Castlehaven is kind of summed up in that goal. Yeah,
and it was impressive too, because look, they were down a man at the time. They actually managed to cut Newcestown open and have an overlap. And if you remember Mark Collins' point, they had an opportunity for a goal in, but because it was tight, Marky decided to pop it over the bar. Whereas at the end of that game, they went for the kill with that goal chance, buried the goal. It helps with their scoring difference. They'll probably be looking at the Island Rovers game now, and with an eye going, we can get 6 points and a healthy scoring difference. We could potentially get ourselves straight through to a semi-final as things stand. So Castlehaven are going to be very, very happy this evening.
Well, Castlehaven are happy they've beaten Newcestown by 112 to 9 points. The scoreline would suggest that Newcestown were beaten well enough, but there was a time in the second half when they were getting back into it. Castlehaven didn't score for a long time in the second half, but eventually they just turned it on. Cork Keane went off injured. That was a huge loss for Newcestown, and let's hope he's okay. He's such a big player for them. He's such a big character for them.
Yeah, look, as I said, I know Cork well from going back playing underage and with Cork a few years and stuff like that. No more than myself, he's hoping to be fit for 3 weeks' time. So look, hopefully I can get fit and he can get fit, and the two teams can have all their players available for 3 weeks' time, and may the best team win at that stage.
John Hayes, for now, thank you very much. Thank you for watching and logging on to the Irish Examiner's coverage of the Bon Secure Cork Senior Football Championship. No matter where you were watching from, we hope you enjoyed this game. We know you particularly enjoyed it if you were watching in around Castlehaven. The final score: Castlehaven 112, Newcestown 9 points. From everyone here at O'Donovan Rossa in Skibbereen, it is goodbye.